Hi everybody, what's up? My name is Juan, I am just one reader, and today I will be doing the favorites book tag. This book tag was created by Aaron Reads Books, which is a new channel that I just discovered, and this is a new tag, an original tag that he created, and I've seen a couple people do it, and I think it's a really fun tag just around your favorite things in books. Now, because I will be talking about favorite things that I have read in books in my life, I kind of wanted to make a restriction for myself of not talking about Harry Potter. So I am prohibiting Harry Potter for me in this book tag because honestly, Harry Potter still is quite probably my favorite book and my favorite thing in the world, one of my favorite things. So it would be very, very easy to just answer to every single question in this book tag with something Harry Potter. So I will avoid Harry Potter except for one question which I really cannot answer without Harry Potter. So without any further ado, let's get started. Question number 1. Who is your favorite bad guy or antagonist from a book? I immediately thought of Inspector Fumero from The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is a very interesting character. He is kind of cartoonish at first, and he is just evil and mysterious, and every time he pops up in the story, you get this like shock of adrenaline to the heart. It's like incredibly dark and just incredibly frightening and scary. But then as you start to read on, you find more complexity to his character, and by the end of the book, he still is incredibly menacing and terrifying, and one of the best villains that I've ever read, just because of the scary factor. But he also becomes a complex, real character that you can understand. Question number 2, what is your favorite item from a book? And I actually went with Harry Potter because there's nothing else that I have ever wanted as much as I have wanted a wand. That's it. That's very simple. It's a very simple standard answer, but that's it. That's my favorite item from any book that I've read in my life. Just a magic wand and the possibilities of having that, what that entails, you know? I've been obsessed with this kind of magic wand lore ever since I first read the Harry Potter books when I was 7 years old. So of course that is my favorite object. Who doesn't want a wand? And by the way, talking about wands, I did own a pretty impressive wand collection of wands that I had collected from, you know, the Wizarding World in Orlando or different, or London, or different trips that I've done in my life, but I actually gave it away. I gave all of my Harry Potter collection away, all of my memorabilia away. I gave them as gifts to my students who are, they're not my students anymore, but I gave them away to them so that they could have a part of me, and they could have like we could have a memory together of Harry Potter, because we studied Harry Potter for an entire school year. So by the end of the school year, I really wanted them to have something that would kind of, yeah, that would represent a memory of our time spent together. Question number 3, what is your favorite banned book? So I have 2 answers for this question. Now, you have to understand that I studied for the entirety of my life in a super traditional Catholic school. It was really, really tight right there. Everything was very restricted. There was a lot of prohibition going on, and there were only certain books that we were allowed to read in class, and even outside of class. And so I was quite a rebel myself, and I wanted to, you know, fight back and rebel. So I chose to read in class 2 books that were incredibly banned and censored at my school. And of course I got in a lot of trouble for doing so, but I don't care because I needed to fight the censorship. And so firstly, I read His Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, which of course was not allowed because this is about pretty much killing God in a way, and all the philosophical ideas and questions about religion and God and authority. And then the other one was even more like rebellious, I guess, and more cynical, was the Da Vinci Code. Question number 5 was originally, what is your favorite quote from a book? But I found this incredibly difficult to answer. I could not think of just one quote. So I just changed the question altogether. I am sorry, Aaron from Aaron Reads Books. I'm just going to take the liberty of changing the question. I'm going to change it to a favorite book that you need to reread. And I really want to reread Perfume, The Story of a Murderer by Patrick Suskind, which is a very European name that I love pronouncing like that. Patrick Suskind has written an amazing novel, and I read Perfume, like 14, 15 years ago, so I am... I really, really, really need to reread this. But I remember loving this. Question number 6 is, what is your favorite book cover design? Which is an impossible question for me to answer. I never can answer to that question with just one answer. So brace yourself. I'm just gonna throw out some answers, some books that I am obsessing over their covers. So firstly, Historic Materials, which I already talked about today. This is my favorite edition of all time. It's my favorite physical book that I own. I think it's the most beautiful one. This Everyman's Library edition is just gorgeous, period. Another one that I really like is The Picture of Dorian Gray. This is a Penguin Classics Deluxe edition, and I love the artwork. Another classic, which is actually the next book that I intend on reading, is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Love, love, love the quality of this book. Now, a big one, The Hobbit by Tolkien. Love this edition. It's beautifully illustrated by Alan Lee. The original Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, children's edition from the UK. I just love this cover. It's so simple, and it's not like overly pretty or beautiful or anything, I know that, but it just makes me just nostalgic, and yeah, this means the world to me. And finally, another one that I always talk about because it's so fun. Just look at this. This is The Musical Brain, a short story collection by Argentinian author Cesar Aira, and it is so cool. Question 7 is, who is your favorite gay character from a book? And this was very difficult because I realized I haven't really read a lot of books with gay characters that are really prominent in the story, and I was thinking of Dumbledore or some YA fiction, but I'm not a big fan of YA. And then it just occurred to me that this book is a thing. The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. And of course, the character of Patrick is a character that I am incredibly fond of. I really, really love him. I understand him. I feel for him. He's my favorite part of the story. He's my favorite part of the movie. I really have a very special place in my heart for Patrick. And I never really did like Charlie, the protagonist. So whenever I read this book, it's just for Patrick. And the last question is question number 8. What is your favorite place or location from a book? And I just have to give it to Fantasia from The Neverending Story. This is my favorite book of all time, or at least it's the book that I claim to be my favorite book of all time. It's a book that I've read many times over the years, and something that I love very, very much about it is the setting and the way that he paints this world, this universe, which is fantastical and surreal. And reading this book is an experience of dipping into this universe alongside the main character. This universe is so rich and so complex and so fascinating. It is colorful, exuberant, and really, really quirky, whimsical, funny, you name it. But on top of that, it is incredibly philosophical. It's not just whimsy for whimsy, you know, it's not just fun and crazy and wacky and that's it. No, this one is actually a very philosophical read and a book that really makes you think. And it's just a perfect book, and I think I will propose to this book and we will get married probably in the fall. And that's it. Those are my answers for the favorites book tag. Please consider yourself tagged if you're watching this video. Go ahead and do this video. You can answer the questions down below in the comments if you don't want to film a video, or if you do film a video, please leave your links to your videos in the comment section down below so I can enjoy them. Thank you very much for watching. I am Just One Reader, and I will see you next time.